All right, if you're just waking up, Fox News alert for you on a Sunday now. Negotiators said to be closing in, we've heard it before, but closing in on a debt ceiling agreement with the White House and Republican leadership. Now, the lawmakers in the White House hammering out details on a tentative deal now set to be presented to the Republicans and the Democrats in Congress. Trey Harden is a former Republican campaign manager and aide to the Republican House leadership. Also here, Democratic pollster Margie Omero, and good morning to both of you. It's terrific for you to come in today, and nice to see you both. I think America's trying to follow this. I think it's confusing. I think you need a flow chart to see which way this thing is going right now, where it's developing. But ultimately, Trey, as it is right now, do we get a deal? And if so, which side is pleased more?
Yeah, Bill, it's a great question for your viewers, because I got to imagine they are very confused about how we go from Friday to where we are today. And, you know, this deal requires bipartisan vote, and it always has. And the unfortunate thing is that this could have been talked about weeks ago, but at the expense of the nerves of the American people, they wait till the 11th hour. But why it is different right now is because we're at a point in the process where the people involved, the policymakers, the politicians in D.C., recognize that their political careers are at stake if they do nothing. So I think we have a deal. I think the fact what Reuters is reporting about the debt limit day being extended a few days, I think signifies the fact that we do have a deal, because there's some logistical things that need to take place.
But we just spoke to our Capitol Hill producer, Trish Turner. Even if you extended a few days, you still have to vote on that. Now, you can probably get the votes in the Senate, but I don't know what the House would do. Margie?
Yeah, I think one concern is that you're going to have a lot of House Republicans. They see the dealer holding a 6. They think that means that they have blackjack, when the American people are saying, step away from the table and really let's act like grown-ups here. And I think, you know, it's important to see what the deal that gets worked out this afternoon. But you're right. I mean, people still need a vote on it in the House. And what we've learned this past week is that there's a lot of things that have been obstacles, and one of them is that the Republican caucus has had a hard time coming together to move this ball forward.
Now, we saw 22 defections, Trey, on Friday, and I think that's an indication that, you know, you can talk to these guys all you want, but they're going to tell you, look, I'm here, and I made a promise to the folks back home that I'm not going to raise the debt ceiling. I'm just not going to do it under any circumstance. You can cut your spending, but don't tax us anymore and get this under control. And they've held to that line. Now, it's been very difficult for John Boehner, but he did get a deal on Friday afternoon. He got that bill passed by the evening time. And if you're going to get an extension here for a couple of days for the legislative process to work its way out between the Senate and the House, get the language together so the President can sign it, that'll take you past Tuesday. And if you go past Tuesday, you might need yet another vote. But so, I mean, it's hours at the moment. I mean, you can just watch the clock right now. Whether it's 48 hours or 60 hours, it's time.
Yeah, absolutely, Bill. You know, listen, there's no question that that Boehner has the toughest challenge of anyone in this, simply by the pure nature of the numbers. And he's done a skillful job, as he is extremely capable of doing, in bringing the folks together. There's always going to be some defectors. There were on Friday, but at the end of the day, he got it through. I just, being in this town for a while, seeing how these votes come down to it, when they get to this point and you see the rhetoric being toned down, you see this amount of meetings happen, the president finally getting engaged, I think what it tells you is that a deal is done, and that those votes are almost of a procedural and logistical nature.
We've heard that before. I just want to use caution with that, too, because we don't know. Margie, no taxes so far, dramatic cuts in spending, we're told. Do Republicans win on this?
You're both absolutely right that American people are confused about this, and I don't blame them in the way this has been played out. I think it's really important when looking at this deal to think about and look at revenue and what revenue is going to be included, if there is any revenue increases included, and that's not raising taxes on us, as I think was said before, unless us means the wealthiest among us, because it's not about raising the tax rate on anybody. It's about closing corporate tax loopholes and closing loopholes for the very, very top. And so I think that's one of the pieces of misunderstanding. And then the other piece is to say, you know, that Boehner, just because something eventually passed, has done a masterful job, really doesn't look at what he had to do to get that to pass. He had to go further to the right. That has not been something that the markets have responded well to, that economists and rating agencies have responded well to, and it's not something the American people are responding well to.
Margie, thank you.
Yeah, Bill, I just would close and say...
I'm sorry, I'm out of time. They're telling me to...
Okay.
We got to get to commercial here, but Trey, I appreciate your time, okay?
Understood.
Thank you.
Thank you,
To
Bill.
both of you, enjoy your Sunday afternoon, all right?
Thanks.
Appreciate
More
it.
Take care.
headlines to
We'll
come.
watch.
Thank you.
When the people tell you in your ear to go, you got to go. They control everything. Fox